Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here. As always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Blue Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. I got to tell you one thing. Oh, let me turn this down. And you can help support the NFL family. I got to tell you, you guys keep me on my toes. That is no bullshit, because these things have evolved not because of my thinking. They've evolved because of you guys who keep taking this stuff to a whole nother level. So, this started out with basically with these. I was happy to say, hey, here's your rack. And then somebody had talked about when I put it on the cherry tabletop that, man, that looks kind of like a football. You should make a football background. So I did that. And then, somebody said, well, I don't drink shots, so I need a mug rack. Okay, so I came up with that. And then people said, hey, how about something for cards? Okay, I came up with that. So now I get a person who says, hey, I want to put mugs and cards on there. Can you put the groove in? It's like, okay, whatever you guys want, Mark Holmes is going to come up with it for you. And this has literally become a football factory, because you can see, look over here. Bam. These are all ones that are in the process of being painted. And today I'll actually show a brand new one, because you guys keep me on my toes. I'm going to have the spice rack, the first one put together later on this afternoon, so I can't wait to show you guys that. So that's the, look at it, see, it's got a groove in here, so that way you can put the cards on here so they don't fall out, or you can set a full-size mug or rock glass in here as well. So we're getting innovative here. Got to make sure I get the glue off of here before it sets. So it's amazing how, you know what, I've said this before, and I think I should say it again. When it comes to Dak Prescott's contract, I believe that Fox Sports, ESPN, NFL Network, guys like Dan Orlovsky, that what we should do as far as paying Dak is there should be a Dak tax. Seriously, a Dak Prescott tax. Because every show, every day has a segment on Dak Prescott. Seriously. Okay? Seriously. Every single show has a conversation about Dak Prescott and his contract. Whether he's a top 10 quarterback, whether he should get paid, whether the Cowboys should rescind the contract. The franchise tag. Or are they replacing Dak Prescott with Andy Dalton? It's literally everybody on Dak Prescott. If they did not have the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott, they would not be making any money. Seriously. I kid you not. I mean, am I wrong? So why don't we go ahead and say, you know what? It's the Dak tax. It gives people something to talk about. I mean, Lord knows, Jabba the Hutt, he's made a career of talking about Dak Prescott. He ain't a top 10 quarterback. I'd pay him, offer him $15 million, and if he doesn't want that, let him walk. That's the kind of stuff that we get on a daily basis from these guys. Joe Theismann. Joe Theismann, I didn't even know he was still alive. Now Joe Theismann's up there, take the cash, you're never going to see the last year of that contract anyway. How do you know that? Really? You sure about that? Well, probably because it'd be renegotiated because they get more money. That's how it is. Dan Orlovsky, that fool, how that guy becomes an expert on ESPN goes to show you the fact of ESPN. The hiring standards aren't that high. Because you're talking about a guy who did absolutely nothing in a professional career. And this jackass is sitting there saying Quincy Carter went to the Super Bowl with Sean Payton and the Cowboys after he's been railing about the Dallas Cowboys for the last 25 years not going to the Super Bowl, right? So everybody's got an opinion on Dak Prescott. So now we got Emmitt Smith. Emmitt Smith, who was like, pay Zeke Elliott, pay Zeke. You got to pay Zeke. And we look at his situation where after winning the Super Bowl, he held out for the first 2 games. Jerry Jones was going, Emmitt who? Emmitt who? Yeah, okay. And Charles Haley took his helmet and he threw it through a locker. That's Emmitt who. That Emmitt who, okay? Get his ass signed, Jerry. Maybe that's what we need. Charles, I know you just got your knees replaced, okay? Hopefully you're way ahead on it. I need to talk to you and find out how well it did because I need to get my knee joints replaced. I got one of them that they're saying I'm too young. You're only a year older than me, Charles, so I want to know how well it's doing for you because I'd love to get a new one right here, okay? I'm tired of this old shit. But Charles, can you go into the Star when they open up things and take a helmet and put it through a locker and put the fear of God, or actually put the fear of Charles Haley in Jerry Jones to get this deal done. So Emmitt Smith now is saying, listen, the Dallas Cowboys can't afford to play chicken with the Dak Prescott contract. They got a team. They got players. You got playmakers all over the place. You got a new coach. A new coach that has, a brain that we're not going to be doing a simplistic offense, that we may be switching more to the West Coast offense. And you need to go ahead and get this thing done. And he said, if you're Dak Prescott, you're not worried about this because you got the leverage. You know it will get done. The question is when. And this is where this thing just gets to be ridiculous. All the reasons that we hear of why not to do it. Hey, look, everything you do on the football field is a gamble. Everything. You could end up having, signing Aaron Rodgers, and on the first play of the season, his career's done. We saw that with Alex Smith, although Alex Smith is trying to come back. But, the Redskins thought, hey, we got rid of that bum Kirk Cousins. We lost out on RG3, but now we've got a quarterback in Alex Smith who is a great quarterback and everything else. We're good for the next 3 years. And halfway through a terrible season, that guy, boom, that guy ends up destroying his leg. And yet you're on the chain for 3 years of paying him. You're still paying him now. So everything you do is a crapshoot, okay? But you got to go ahead and you got to be in the game. There's nothing in Dak Prescott's career that says, maybe we shouldn't take a chance. There's no character issues where you're worrying about him being suspended by the NFL. There's not the injury history like, say, a Sam Bradford. Well, he plays pretty good when he's upright. You don't have those questions. And you look at the numbers. I know a lot of y'all have been jaded because of idiots like Dan Orlovsky talking about, they're empty calories. Excuse me. Empty calories because, it's garbage time. Y'all, give me a fat baby break, man. That's just some bullshit so they have stuff to talk about. See, that's why there needs to be a Dak Prescott tax on these fools. Y'all getting paid off of Dak Prescott's back, and the guy can't get his contract. You guys are getting paid off of Dak Prescott's back, and he hasn't gotten a contract. So you guys should be kicking in a little something to help out Dak Prescott. Seriously. Bart Scott. Who listened to Bart Scott until he said, I would take Teddy Bridgewater over Dak Prescott? What else have you heard from Bart Scott? Anything? Can you recall any other quote from Bart Scott other than that one? Other than that one, seriously.
California, if he wouldn't want to do the same thing with his family and go from New York to LA, for example. But
I got nothing. Got nothing. Dan Orlovsky. Dak Prescott stinks because, Sean Payton took, Quincy Carter to the Super Bowl. Anything other than hating the Dallas Cowboys from Dan Orlovsky? Got nothing. Stephen A. Smith, highest paid personality on ESPN. How did he make his name? Hating on the Dallas Cowboys. Dak tax. I think the talking heads need to pay that one. All right. We got more stuff to do here because that's the way we do here at Joe Boo's Shop. I'll see you guys this afternoon.